Let me see when this pops up.
What's our YouTube name? What's our name on YouTube?
The Platform Pod, same as our Instagram. If you search it, it'll pop up. Oh, there we are.
I typed in the Platform Pid. We're at the Platform Pid. We're the Platform Pod.
We're the Platform Pod. So we are officially live, just waiting for folks to get in here. You know what? No one might get in here. But
how to be a weightlifter?
Yeah, dude, I got some topics for you, brother.
Some topics. Yeah, I'm Sir Ryland again. I figured I should just go with it.
You're going with Sir Ryland?
Yeah, maybe I'll change it to like some. I was gonna put in like something different, but I was like, we should just go with Sir for right now.
Sir. Let's see. We got 2 people watching, so that means I'm one of them. Are you watching?
No, I don't have it pulled up.
All right, someone else.
There's somebody watching us right now,
and they're not in the chat. They're just creeping. Let me think here.
Are we gonna learn how to be weightlifters today?
Hopefully.
Dang, I'm still trying to figure that out, to be honest with you.
I think we all are. And that's going to be the point of the show. Like, it's constantly learning, man. You just got to learn. You just got to keep learning.
You gotta.
We got 3 minutes to kill.
People said the last show was pretty banging. So
I mean, it was. I dropped some more hot takes than I would have liked, to be honest. I felt a little bad. I felt a little bad afterwards. Like, it's hard to criticize athletes without making it sound personal, but like, it's not.
We're live right now, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, I mean, I think it's hard. Like, people like need to understand this. Like, you have your feelings are 100% moved from like what you're talking about. Yeah, and that's hard for people to like realize. You're like, oh, it's not Russell talking about it. This is just.
Well, I mean, it is me, but it's like, like I had an issue with what Maddie posted afterwards. And it's like, I don't dislike Maddie as a person. She seems like a really cool person. She saves animals, which I'm like a huge proponent of. But also, like, when she does stuff that I don't like, it's not like I'm like, oh, well, I like her, so like I'm not going to say anything.
But dogs are better than cats, though.
Yeah. Dogs are better than cats for sure. That's undebatable. But like, if she does something athletically that I'm not a fan of, I'm going to say it. And that doesn't mean I fucking hate her or anything. It just means like I don't agree with that. Yeah, dude. Like, she's probably the most recognized name in American weightlifting history.
Oh, yeah. Easy.
You know what I mean? Like, I feel like if you're in the sport, you probably know like greats like Tommy Kono and stuff, right? But like for Americans, Shane Hammond, Kendrick Ferris.
Nobody knows Shane Hammond and Kendrick Ferris.
If you're in weightlifting, you know those names.
But if you're out of it,
like CrossFitters know who Matty Rogers is. Powerlifters know who Matty Rogers is. There's probably people who aren't even in strength sports who have heard that name before because of whatever.
I'm sure.
McKellar's in the chat board. He said he's training. Let's get it, David.
Yeah. I'm about to go train after this drive up to the gym and get her done. I'm taking Sunday off, dude. Caitlin's out of town right now, so I've been like running back and forth. So I'm at the gym all day, and then I have to leave periodically to go like let the dogs out because she's not able to do it. We took yesterday off of training, but
I'm a fan of Sundays off. I like
it. Me too. Normally, we had a snow day last week, this week. We had a snow day this week.
Dumped on?
No, not really. They kind of felt bad for us because in our school we have built-in snow days, right? But we hadn't had any snow days because like the El Nino, and it's affecting up here like way differently than it does like back home. Like Tahoe got
dumped on, dude. Yeah, they closed down Donner Pass. Yeah,
the Californians can't drive in the snow. Everybody got their chains on.
Californians can't drive in the rain, dude. God, don't even get me started.
They're like, it's snowing. Let's go like really fast. You're just gonna rear end everybody, and they're gonna.
You have to break. Yeah, they closed Donner Pass not because of the snow. It was snowing, but they closed it because there was so many accidents.
Yeah, I saw there was a big pile up there, semis and everything. Yeah,
it's fucking wild. All right, well, it's 11:30. David's training. He doesn't want to hear about the California traffic situation. What is up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Platform Podcast. I'm your host, Russell Jordan. With me, as always, is Ryland Shriver. Ryland, how are you doing on this beautiful Sunday?
I'm doing good, Russell. I'm ready to learn how to be a weightlifter.
We're going to teach everyone how to be a weightlifter today. We are not going to talk about this episode, we're not going to talk about Euros, Worlds, Olympics, Team USA. We're keeping it. We're going back to the roots of the sport. We're just talking training. And of course, after saying that, we're definitely going to probably go off on some tangents and talk about all those things.
I think that's almost a guarantee every single time we cue into.
It's just because the Olympics are so close. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, we got to talk about Thailand a little bit.
Yeah.
It's just a little bit. I just feel like our shows the past 6-ish weeks have been so focused around all these last comps. You know what I mean? Because there was the Qatar Cup, and then there was Euros, and then we have Thailand next month, right?
Yeah, I think it is next month. It's really closing quite fast.
Yeah. It's like early next month. It's early April. So, but today's topic is how to be a weightlifter. So I look at weightlifting, you got 3 main things, right? You got training, you got recovery, and you got nutrition.
I was about to say snatch, clean and jerk, and trend.
I mean, like, if you look at the whole picture.
Yes.
And I was debating on adding a 4th in there, which would be like mindset. But I think that kind of goes into training. I don't know. We'll put like 3.5. Okay. So, Ryland, if you could give someone advice on all those 3 staples, and you had to give them 3 things to prioritize in each one: training, recovery, nutrition, what do you tell them?
For training, I would just say be consistent. Like,
so that's number 1. First thing you're saying, be consistent.
Yeah, just be consistent. Also, I just want to say, like, trust your coach. If you're not coachable, you're not going to get anywhere, man.
Dude.
Like, I know
that's a topic we're talking about today.
Like, I know we talk about it. We mention it all the time. But dude, you just got to be coachable. Like, that's the problem with some of these like young weightlifters. Like, they come in and they think they're like, I mean, like, I don't want to talk like I'm good because I'm not, but like younger weightlifters come
USA singlet, bro. You're fine.
You want us a junior, junior teams don't count, but
they count. They count somewhat. They don't count as much as senior, but it's not like they don't count.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so young lifters come in and they think like, oh yeah, like I can do this, I can do that. Even seasoned weightlifters, like once you feel like you stop learning, like you're not going anywhere. Like you always got to be learning something. And I feel like for training, like you got to be coachable. You got to be able to sit back and be like, maybe what? I don't know everything in this world. Well, and you definitely don't. Like
even if you do know a lot about the sport, it takes the stress and the onus off you when you listen to your coach. Like there's a level of like almost relief you should get from that. Like someone else is handling all of the things a coach handles, and like I don't have to worry about it. I just trust them and listen to them.
I think that's one thing that Olivia does quite well. Like I said, if you watch the what the heck is it called? What Will's filming right now?
The final attempt.
I think it's in that one or a clip that he posted or she posted saying, I don't know what I do until I walk into the gym. Like she's not even focused on weightlifting and like what she's doing. That's coach's job. Because as an athlete, like if you're trying to do both, like you're trying to be the like partially like coach yourself-ish and you're trying to be the athlete, you're just like burning through mental
and you're always going to have bias. Here's what I've noticed, because I've tried to program for myself, especially since Delta closed and I opened the gym and stuff. Like you're always going to be more biased to your perceived weaknesses. Mm-hmm. So you're going to tell yourself you need to work on things, at least in my experience. Like I tried to work on all the things I was bad at, like too much to the point where I was negating important things that I considered myself better at, but are still vital to training. And I shouldn't have not prioritized. And then your sessions just fucking suck. Because you're doing all the stuff you hate and you're bad at, and it's just like not fun at all.
And you don't end on like a positive note with training. Like one thing, this just things that I've noticed, lifters, they say, let's say they hit like 95%, right? They're like, oh, should I take, or say a higher percentage, they hit like 97. Say their best clean and jerk's like 150K, and they want to hit 151. They just hit like 146, right? And I'm like, do you think you're going to make the 151 for the 1 kilo PR? And they're like, I don't know. We'll try. Don't take it. Don't take it, because then you're going to leave the gym thinking, oh man, I missed that 151. Like maybe you miss it bad, right? Maybe the clean.
Maybe you don't even clean it. Yeah.
Maybe you Clark it, right? Then you're going to go home and you're going to be all negative. But if you just leave on that positive note, you smoke that 46, like you're going to have a good day.
And you leave with that little bit of like hunger for that 151. You know what I mean? Exactly, you're thinking about it. You're like, oh man, I know if I had a crack at that, I would have made it.
Yeah, exactly. So the first one was, what'd you say the first?
You said
training.
Training. And then recovery was the second one.
Recovery? I would just say sleep more. Get off your phone and go to sleep. Like,
that's a great piece of advice.
I know Fraser
I think everyone could benefit from that.
Yeah, Fraser said if it was like let's say it was like a drug, sleep is like a drug, basically. Like, it's like a steroid. I mean, sleep more. Like, unless USADA's out here testing for sleep, wouldn't surprise me. But like,
testing for sleep.
Yeah, testing. Yeah, you get too much sleep and you're gonna pop. Yeah, but I mean, sleep a bunch. Make sure you're getting good sleep. Take your magnesium before you go to bed. This stuff will knock you out. Take magnesium before you go to sleep. Definitely helps me a lot. Yeah, when I was younger, I feel like I didn't sleep enough. I would say just sleep
I think that's
more.
pretty common of like younger people anyways.
Yeah.
Like, you don't want to sleep. And now, dude, I'm like, give me a nap, bro. Nap before training, sometimes a nap after. Oh, dude, I'm a big napper.
It takes me like half an hour to fall asleep, so it's not going to work.
Dude, when I'm in nap mode, I'm out in, I legitimately think like 30 to 60 seconds.
I can't nap.
Yeah, I'm a good fall asleeper.
And what was the last one? So we hit recovery.
Nutrition. If you say you gotta eat, I'm gonna end this podcast.
No. Yeah, whose quote is that? What's his name?
Donald, I believe.
Donald. Yeah. Nutrition. I don't think this is kind of a side note, but I think like drinking fluids. It's not really have to do with nutrition.
I mean, I would consider that nutrition.
But I mean, I feel like I'm just gonna say with like people in general, like we'll take my fiance for example. I live with her, okay? Woman does not drink any water, period. Like
that I can say as a fitness and health expert that it's bad.
Dude, like people don't drink enough water. Then like you go to training. Have you ever watched like Eddie Hall videos? He's always like, oh, dehydrated, gonna get injured, right? He's just like a freaking Nazi about being hydrated, right? He's like going to training. He's like, oh man, I'm dehydrated. I'm gonna get hurt. And I don't feel like it's that serious, but I feel like you got to be hydrated when you go into training, especially when you're training in super hot environments, right? You stand up that clean, you're just sweating your face.
You know how the summers are out here, bro.
It's like 107. It's just so hot. Like you got fans blowing on you. And I think also like with going with the drinking water thing, don't be afraid to add in a little bit of salt into your water.
Electrolytes.
I mean, I don't think that's the most important thing,
but it is important, especially when it's hot. It is important.
Yeah, but with nutrition, I would say stop eating for taste.
Love that.
Is like
I love that.
One of the things that I think is like really big because I mean, like we're humans, right? You want to eat the food that tastes good, right? But at the end of the day, like it's not the food that tastes the best is going to get you to where you want to be.
Like, dog, you can't just eat pizza and ice cream and be.
Yeah, I mean that sounds dope, and I definitely want to eat pizza and ice cream all the time, but like that's just not.
You're gonna feel like shit, and you're not gonna recover as well.
That's not gonna work. But I mean, you can definitely like zhuzh up some food and make it a little bit like nicer.
I think the problem is people think healthy food has to be boring. Or I hate the word healthy. People think like more nutritiously dense food has to be boring. And bro, you go get a fucking taco, burrito, fucking whatever. Like that's good shit. Like it can taste good.
One thing that we've been making is we've been doing it with regular flour. Just we can buy any almond flour. You can make an almond flour Greek yogurt pizza. Okay, it's pretty decent. You get you mix the almond flour or the flour with like Greek yogurt. You get like plain Greek yogurt, cheap stuff from Walmart. You like mix it together and then you get your dough. So then you have like, if you do it with almond flour, there's like way less carbs and stuff in it if you're trying to be conscious about that. But then you're able to have like a pizza or something and not have to worry about like, oh my gosh, this thing's like, I'm about to eat 2,500 calories in pizza, which I mean, we could both cram down probably 5,000 calories in pizza. Like
easy.
Yeah. I mean, especially like after training, like, dude, I could take on a whole pizza. Yeah. Like one of those like medium Dominoes, like I could eat 1.5 of those.
Yeah. Like, I can, if the circumstances are right, I'm crushing a large pizza. No problem.
Yeah. What about you, Russell? What are you saying for training? What are you saying for the first one? I kind of said mine. I said water, electrolytes, and also stop eating for taste. Like you kind of got to program your mind for that.
I mean, yeah, I yours are really good. I'm just gonna take different ones just so
Russell's
we have
going to be way good.
Broad genre. No, they're not. For training, I like yours. Be consistent is really important. But I would say, like, how do I say this? I think for training, the main thing is like mastering your work ethic. And that's very similar to be consistent, but like master your work ethic in the sense when you should come into the gym ready to push always. Like you should always give 100%. But by mastering it, what I mean is knowing when you're just getting in shit work versus productive work.
You mean like quality of work is what you're talking
quality
about?
Of work.
Quality
yes, like,
over quantity, yeah.
Yeah, like you come in some days feeling real good, and let's say you got to work up to a heavy double, whatever, right?
Yeah.
And you like, I want to PR my heavy double. And you get to 95% of your previous PR and you can't even make the second lift.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of people are going to keep trying or go up anyways and all that. And like my thing is like you're not practicing heavy weights and missing when you know in your heart of hearts it's not there is not helping you.
Yeah, you're
right?
just like training your body to miss.
Yeah, master your ability to know when getting in sub-maximal work is still beneficial. You know what I mean? Like dropping it down 5 kilos and putting in some crispy good reps is going to be way more beneficial than missing PR attempts.
Yeah, I think that's one thing. Like I feel like that there like really appeals to like the younger lift or not. I'm talking like training age. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
When they're coming in.
Sport. Yeah.
Yeah, they're making progress really fast, right? Then suddenly they start getting a little bit better. And they're like, oh man, I'm not PRing 5 times a week, coach. And they come in, like you said, you got your heavy double, and it's just not happening. Sometimes you got to be like, okay, 95% or 93% that I did for a double, that's going to be fine. That's going to be fine. And I'm not going to blow myself up because we got to do the whole thing, rinse and repeat next week. So I'm not going to completely trash myself because of it,
Yeah. And another thing about training too is like, I think more people should understand the difference between work ethic and discipline. And I think I've talked about that on here before, but like work ethic is everything you do in the gym. Discipline is everything you do outside of the gym. So people will come in and be like, I'm so disciplined. I come in 5 days a week and I work my ass off, but I go drink twice a week and go out and stay up late, don't sleep. And it's like, no, that's discipline. Like the stuff you don't do is discipline. The stuff you actively do is work ethic.
Speaking of, continue your thought.
No, that was it.
Speaking of, you just happened to say something that I was thinking of, like alcohol and training. I'm 21, going to be 22 here soon enough. I don't drink. Like it just doesn't.
Good man.
Just doesn't go with training. It's expensive. I don't got money for that, and I don't see any benefit to it, right?
There is literally no benefit to drinking alcohol ever.
Yeah.
Now, that doesn't mean that it's not fun and you can't do it if you do it responsibly and everything, but you cannot argue a single benefit to your body, performance, anything to drinking alcohol.
So at the middle school that I'm at, there's a little weight room. My prep hour is 4th hour. So like I go into the weight room. Sometimes I'll get like do a bunch of like lateral raises and work on some stuff, right? They got a bike in there, so bike for like 20 minutes, and they have a sign up in there, and it says like going out and getting drunk will take away like 14 days of your training, or it'll affect you for 14 days after you go out and get drunk. I don't know how
in the middle school.
Yeah, in the middle school, that's a sign.
Why do they have that in a middle school?
I mean, I remember when I was in middle school, there was people drinking all the time. There's people doing much worse things than drinking,
but like not enough for like the faculty to address it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how true that is, but it just kind of made me think of that. It has no. If you want to be serious about whatever sport you're doing, like doesn't even have to be weightlifting.
Whatever.
No place. Yeah.
It
doesn't. It's expensive. You're going to save money. Spend that money on something else. Yeah.
Get some nice branched chain amino acids. No, don't do that. Those are a waste of money, usually. What was the next one? Recovery. I am a fan of more passive than active recovery. I think too many people nowadays are focused on trying to recover actively. What they actually do is train, right? They're going to be like, oh, I'm going to get on the bike for 40 minutes. That's training. Now it's low level zone 2 training, but it's training. It's not recovery. Now you are getting blood flow. You're like loosening up your joints. You'll feel better in the moment, but it's still training. I'm more of a fan of like, go get a massage, get in a hot bath, things where you are literally doing nothing and your body is just chilling in homeostasis. More of that.
one thing that Tripp says, I play video games occasionally, or not occasionally, a few times a week I'll play video games, sit down there for a couple hours and play some games. And he goes, okay, like, if I'm fine with that, like you want to play video games, put a heat pack on your back, right? I'm guessing there's a bunch of weightlifters that play games, Seth McKellar, and he's 100% right. Video games are great for recovery.
As long, I want to put an asterisk on that. As long as you don't care too much.
I'm slightly joking, yeah.
If you get stressed out super hard and like rage at your game, it's not helping recovery.
Yeah, but I mean, like if I'm just like mindlessly playing some games, put a heat pack on your back, you know, like that's good stuff. And it's like you said, you're not going out and you're putting in like go hike for an hour or something like that. You're not recovering. Going for a bike ride. Like you're gonna come in. I mean, I don't want to say exactly you'd be sore, but you're going to be somewhat taxed from that Sunday that you had of your recovery, you know?
Yeah.
Rather than just like chilling around, maybe stretch lightly, go for a walk.
Stretching's great. Go for a walk. So I would say go for a walk is like right under that line of like low level training versus like actually active.
That's something I would say that more people need to be taking advantage of. It's like, don't want to be like fitness, like foo-foo stuff, but like just go for a walk, man.
It's great for your low back, your hips. Human beings nowadays just don't walk enough, period. Mm-hmm. I do because I'm a pacer. So like when I coach in the gym, like I log like 20,000 steps a day.
I see you in the gym and you're you got people taking lifts and Russell's over here just like
just bouncing around, dude. Yeah. But yeah, like I try to get in a decent amount of walking. Definitely really important. Also, walking after you eat has been proven to help digestion. Not like just 10 minutes, super easy. So if you got time, but the last one, nutrition, this is one I'm big on that not enough weightlifters do because they think it's like fitness, community, bodybuilding bullshit. Track your food. Track everything that goes in your body because the worst case scenario is you have data to look back on.
Yeah, because that's not a worst case scenario. That's good stuff to.
But I'm saying like that's the worst thing is you just have data. The best thing is you use that data to realize I'm not eating enough of this, or on days where I ate more carbs and this much fat, I performed like, you know, this week, whatever you can like, but like no bad thing can come of tracking your food. It's like, you know, you have a gas gauge on your car, right? To tell you when you need to put gas in. That's why you should be tracking your food. So many weightlifters accidentally undereat, overeat, eat too much fat, eat too many carbs, aren't getting enough protein, eat way too much protein because they think it's important. Like knowing what you're eating and then comparing it to how you feel and how you perform is so vital to any performance. Like I think that's like massive thing that a lot of weightlifters are missing out on is tracking their food.
Kind of going off that, I think you said some people like they'll overeat a specific macronutrient and then they'll undereat it. Like this is just saying from like what I see in college, like the dorm that I'm in is like attached to the dining hall, right? And you go in the dining hall and like being in the health and PE major, you're just like observant of what is on people's plates, right? And man, like I bet if you were to calculate like half of the people's like macros, what they eat in a day, like, dude, they're deficient in like their protein. I'm guessing it's like 50 grams.
Oh yeah.
And not that they're like trying to get like in shape and stuff, but I'm just saying
it's
like
really easy to undereat protein and think you're getting enough.
Like I remember in one of my classes, we were talking about, my professor said, yeah, it's the most in America, it's the most like overeaten macronutrient. Then I'm like, I don't know about that. Just like,
but then what's the standard?
Here.
Yeah, what's the standard, right?
Yeah,
because like
exactly.
there's like it's like the standard for like an adult male is like 60 grams of protein.
Yeah,
right. Like we all know that's total bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, I see like people eating stuff like that. Not necessarily that they're trying to be like phenomenal athletes, whatever. They're just trying to do life. But I mean, if you kind of keep that diet and you kind of start working into training, insert training, whatever you're training for, then it's like. You're trying to build like this good athlete off of 60 grams of protein. Like you're not able to recover. I mean, Lord knows what you're eating for fats and carbs. Like you're just dead.
I think with like the classic person, it's really easy to overeat fat because like everything's cooked in oil and all, you know, they add fucking oils to everything and all that. And it's really easy to undereat protein. And I feel like also a lot of even strength athletes are like afraid of carbs. Like they still don't want to eat too many carbs. Like,
yeah.
Personally, for me, because I've tried all different diets, I do really well on high protein, high carb, low to moderate fat, right? Like that's when I feel and perform the best. Like I literally have to force myself to eat more fat because like I'm not getting enough. Because I think it's like they say 20% of your daily caloric intake should be fat, like at minimum for your hormone balance. I could easily eat 10% and be fine. Based on how I feel. But like I think the quality of food too is so like I know everyone loves Sam Sulek and the fucking Trend Twins and all these like do not follow these guys' diets, guys. Like they are on so many hormone manipulating drugs that they literally like DK Metcalf. Do you know who DK Metcalf is?
Yeah. The gummy worm eating.
Yeah, there's a famous clip of him saying he eats 1 meal a day, drinks 1 cup of coffee, and eats 3 bags of candy. Well, shocker, DK Metcalf is on a lot of drugs, like every other NFL player, right? Now, so either he's just straight up lying, which is probably true. I don't think he eats 1 meal a day.
It could probably true. They're probably false. Yeah.
Now, he probably also does eat a lot of candy and probably under eats protein and shit. So, like, people like to look at that and be like, oh, well, this person can eat this and they're fine. Like, you ain't that. You ain't built like that. You ain't built like Sam Sulek. Stop eating fucking Raising Cane's all the time.
Yeah, I was in the middle school. I was at the middle school the other day and I was eating my lunch. I was on my lunch break. We had meal prepped. Every like Sunday we'll do like meal prep till Wednesday. Then Wednesday meal prep till like Friday. And I was eating like chicken. I had like we marinated chicken for a while. We had like a spicy kind of chicken, like rice with like sesame seeds in it. And I was eating, and one of the kids in the middle school, they were like, asked me some question about like lifting or something. I said, they're like, oh, like what major are you? And I was like, oh, health and PE. And they said, oh, like, do you lift weights or something? And they started talking to me about Sam Sulek. And I was like, these are like little middle schoolers, right? Looking up like to Sam Sulek. And they're thinking like, yeah, I need to be drinking like my gallon of chocolate milk a day. And I'm like, dude, you're just going to turn into a dough ball. Like please don't do that. That's just like not good.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like Sam Sulek, like I've watched his videos before. He seems like a super chill, nice dude.
Yeah, they're super entertaining, but you don't.
Yeah, but the problem is like you're saying, kids are looking at him and being like, "Oh, I need to be eating fucking chicken sandwiches from fast food restaurants and a gallon of chocolate milk a day if I want to look like Sam Sulek." And it's like, no, you need to be doing enough drugs to kill a small cow to look like Sam Sulek.
Oh, dude, you know what I'm saying? Definitely like, killing him, dude. That skin is not
a healthy man.
It's not looking so good.
And it's weird because like people look at that and they're like, oh, it's so sick, it's so cool. But like, how many people would actually want to look like that? I think you look at the size of his muscles and how lean he is, and you think like that's sick. But like when you talk about the skin, he's gonna have hair loss, like his face is all kind of like messed up. Like, how many people really want to look like that?
I think it's cool because you know how hard it is to build like somewhat like a minuscule amount of muscle, right?
Right.
Like if you know, like you remember when you first start like training, right? In your arm, you see a little vein in your arm. You're like, oh,
let's go. Oh my God, so jacked,
yeah.
Dude.
And
just like 6 feet tall, weighing 185 pounds, and you're like, I am so yoked.
Yeah, and you got like a little bicep vein like popping because then your friends and like you know, like you had to work so you had to like work so hard for that. Then I think it's like admirable that you see somebody looking like basically like a ball sack. You're just like, I mean, it's like kind of cool. You're like, this dude's like so muscular. But then it's like, would I really want to look like that? No.
Would you really want to and like have his mobility and stuff? Like you can watch him moving around. Like he does not move well.
He couldn't get his shirt off. He had to go ask somebody to get his shirt off at the end of his training. Yeah.
Like that's not dope to me, at least. Like I don't want that.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
But yeah, so that's my big thing for nutrition is like just fucking know what you're putting in your body. It's at the least it'll help you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, David McKellar said this is a crazy tangent. I feel like it's not that crazy compared to some of the shit we say.
What do you think? Also, like new athletes come in, right? And they're like, "Oh, I'm getting into weightlifting or whatever, like supplements, right?"
I got a lot of the. Oh,
it kind of goes over because like all strength sports, like you kind of get some. You hear some like voices talking like the bodybuilding, then you hear like power lifters, and then everybody's like I'm guessing everybody's For You page is like talking about like weightlifting and bodybuilding and stuff because that's what mine talks about. and fishing and whatever. But at least for like strength sports, I'm guessing what it's talking about. You hear a lot of like chatter about supplements and whatnot. What do you think are like supplements and stuff that are complete BS? And what would you say for like that newbie lifter? Because we are learning how to be a weightlifter in this. And I think it was necessary to talk about Sam for 10 minutes.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's just like everybody watches, just to end it on that. Everybody watches Sam Sulek that I know. I don't, but like, bro, no matter what sport you're in, even dudes that like don't lift watch Sam Sulek videos as well. Okay. So supplements, what ones are bullshit? What ones are useful?
Yeah.
90% of them are bullshit, which we all know. Like the supplement industry is just like a massive scam. Creatine is really good. Protein is really good. Other than that, like, yeah, you said, there's some like sleep stuff you could take, like magnesium, zinc, things like that. But like, as far as moving the needle a lot, like noticeably, I think creatine and protein, and always make sure you get creatine monohydrate. No other fancy. I see people all the time posting like some supplement. It's like X creatine plus, and it's like this kind of creatine mixed with this and this. No, all you need literally is creatine monohydrate. Anything else is bullshit. And creatine monohydrate is like the cheapest way to get it. So you're not paying for a bunch of crap. But creatine and protein, honestly, like I think some of the sleep stuff might have some validity, but like I don't think it's like a necessity for people. And then you get into like BCAAs. Like if you're eating enough protein throughout the day, BCAAs are completely useless. Like I think the only impact they've been shown is people that do like hardcore fasting, right? Like it helps get amino acids in their system faster after a fast. But like if you're consistently eating protein throughout the day, I don't think. I take BCAAs because I like the way they taste. Like I'll drink it during my workout. Good. Yeah. I'll drink them during my workout because I like the way they taste. I will pay the $25 a month just to have some like, fucking Starburst flavored, you know what I mean? Like, I don't care. Like, I know it's not doing anything.
What do you think about pre-workouts, Russell?
Oh, so I was actually just talking about that with somebody. So pre-workouts I think are fine in theory. Like I got my collegiate fucking C4. Now that we're on YouTube, I can like show that. Yeah. I rarely take it. I think a lot of people depend on them too much. And then if they don't have them, they can't fucking train. I think caffeine, just any sort of caffeine, is a great pre-workout. Coffee, energy drink. The reason I like the C4 is because it doesn't have a bunch of other shit in it. It has some stuff, but like it has a little bit of beta alanine. Beta alanine's also been shown to help too. Like I know that's a thing, but like just get some caffeine in your system. Pop one of these boys. You know what I mean? Like just get something in there that's they're gonna hype you up a little bit and you're fine. You don't need to be fucking tearing your skin off, raging off the walls, like going absolutely insane. I think that for weightlifting specific is counterintuitive. I think weightlifting, you have to have like a very calm intensity. And if you're fucking jittery and like, it's not for powerlifting. Yeah. Cause all you got to do is pick shit up.
Yeah, that is,
you know what I mean? There's like way less technical stuff, but if you're too fucking amped, I remember this is a funny story.
I want to hear stories about Jacked. We talked about it before off air. You said back when you like doing body.
Oh, dude, I used to. Like Jacked used to be. Yeah, you could go to GNC and buy Jacked. I used to buy all the time. Jacked 3D. It was the best thing I've ever taken. Like that's the only pre-workout that I remember. Like once I started using it, I never wanted to buy another pre-workout. And it's because it had the 1,3-dimethylamine in it or whatever. That's now illegal because someone took like way too much and their heart exploded.
Well, there's a dude on YouTube that takes like, what does he take? Oh, it's like he's speaking in like Spanish or something. And the video I'm talking about, I think he's like really tatted up. Kind of looks like a dude's like, he's definitely like a tweaker. And dude like mixes like half the container in a water. It's like 10 scoops or something. And he just like starts like screaming the rest of the video. He's like, wow, just like going.
No, I have no idea what we're talking about, but that sounds nuts. Like I think pre-workouts and stimulants should be used when necessary and not relied upon. You got some shitty sleep, you still got to train. Like, yeah, you know what I mean? But if like your recovery's on point, your diet's on point, have a fucking energy drink or whatever, or a cup of coffee or something. But like, you don't need to be fucking tweaking your balls out because it's going to affect your ability to focus. But the story I was going to say is, so I was trying to qualify for nationals in 2019. We went out to Waxman's gym and I drank a bang before weigh-ins. And then after weigh-ins, I was like, I really need to qualify. Like, I'm going to drink another one. So I drank 2. And to be fair, like two bangs, I had drank 2 bangs before. Like, it wasn't like that much of a shocker, but I know that it really got me going, right? Only got like halfway through the second bang before my opener. Go out there, launch my opening snatch over my head completely, stand up, pass out. I was so fucking amped and rattled and like I missed a snatch and then blacked out.
Oh man.
And I was like,
you know what's bad if you're blacking out on snatches.
On snatch, dude.
That's
and I was
so
like,
bad.
Okay. So I had to like go. I went and I sat in the bathroom and did like breathing exercises, made my next 2. I literally had to like bring my heart rate down. And that was like a really good learning experience because I was like, fuck, like being too amped up is like detrimental in weightlifting.
I think also you kind of have to learn how to channel that like amped up, like if you've never been like that, because some people can get to that state that you were feeling like where you're going to pass out on snatches with just having like a little bit of caffeine. Some people are like super, super sensitive.
Dude,
like,
I trained myself real quick to do it without any. Like I can get in that mindset naturally on competition day. That's another big thing. Learn how to turn it off and on.
I think, I don't know, I've had the few energy drinks before where it's like nothing I've ever really had, especially when I'm like only be having like coffee. I'll have like a cup or 2 a day. Then I'll like go into training and it's like I'll scoop like maybe two-ish scoops, maybe a little bit more into my energy drink, and I'll like sip on that, and it's like, okay, like I'm like, you can feel your heart. You can just like feel your heart just like in your chest. You're like almost like heart palpitations, and you're just like, okay, I'm gonna like die if I have any.
Yeah, you got to be
like,
careful with the stimulants.
If you can channel that and bring that into your like lifts without like passing out while you're doing snatches, because that can also happen. But if you're able to like channel that, bring that in your lifts, I think that's where you get some big lifts. Like I've heard that like Ilya, right? So everybody knows like those just goated Ilya videos where it's like you can see like the blinds in the background. So like if we're queued up on YouTube, everybody can see me. The blinds are, it's obviously daylight outside, but for the help of the lighting, they're closed, but it's still pretty bright out. But I mean, if you see those videos of Ilya, you can see like through the blinds and it's like dark outside. Like Lord knows what time it is. It's probably like 10:30 at night. And you got Ilya just like wired off his ass. Like I'm sure man was using a little bit of DMAA. You know what I mean? Like
who knows what kind of stimulants he was using, dude. Ooh, dude, shit we don't even have here probably.
Yeah. I mean, and he kind of had that, like if you've seen like you're from Sacramento. If you're from Sacramento, you've definitely seen your fair share of crackheads in your day, right? But like, yeah, I've kind of got that jaw, kind of going.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Stimming on something, dude. Yeah, no, those Ilya videos are great. You also too, like, I think that needs to be used more. Is if you look in those videos, like Ilya was a fucking killer, right? Like that dude had just no fear. But also, you watch those videos of him training. He's not like a massive, like aggressive hype guy. He's like having fun. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like he's dancing and vibing and like,
oh, dude, like that one video where he's got the streamers up in the air.
Yeah,
the video. Oh,
yeah,
that's all like, saved. That's such a good video.
The aggressive hype is really beneficial when it's there, but like you need to learn to also just like have a good time when you're training. You know what I mean? Like the aggressive hype isn't always gonna be there. You know, like for me, like on game day, I'm always like ready to fucking take someone's head off. But like in training, like you can't use that all the time. You can't always be mad. You know, sometimes you got to put on some fucking weird pop music and just vibe out. And then you record yourself dancing between lifts and put it on Instagram so everyone knows you're just a big quirky goofball.
But I think we talked about it a little bit last. I'm trying to find the video. The video brings me happiness of him dancing around with the streamers.
And he did that like after like one of his teammates PR'd or something.
Yeah,
right?
His teammate like smokes a big lift, or even like it's this video got Alexander Zaychikov.
Yeah.
He's got the 200 kilo snatch, and if you guys watch the video, like Ilya's in the background, like getting hyped for his bro. Like
that I love that shit. So like one thing I'm big on the gym in here is like, we're always super supportive of everybody, whether you're brand new or you've been in the sport for fucking 10 years. Like when someone PRs, the gym goes nuts. And that is like, I see people post it all the time on their Instagram, how much they like that like means to them, that like when they're going for a heavy attempt, like the whole gym's cheering for them. And I feel like the more you get into elite weightlifting, the less you have of that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like that should still be there. That should 100% always be there.
Whether it's your first 70 kilo clean and jerk or your first 200 clean and jerk, like insert whatever weight it is, whatever body weight you are, it doesn't matter. Like you should still have the whole gang. You should still have the whole gang getting behind you. I mean, it helps. I mean, that's one thing that I noticed certain CrossFit gyms do really well, right? They're like, you got people finishing the workout, right? You got the people that finish first. And some of those people, like the gym that train it back home, like you got some of those people still cheering on the gang that like, they're not done yet. They're like yelling and screaming at them, come on, like you can do it, being like super encouraging. Then I feel like with certain like weightlifting gyms and stuff you go to, like that person may be hitting a PR and you don't have a damn peep out of them. And it's like,
I don't like that. I don't like that.
That's not
the
cool.
The team environment it's weird because weightlifting is a very individual sport with like a team environment, right? Especially the higher you get, right? Like for instance, Maddie and Kate are Team USA teammates in the same weight class competing against each other for a spot at the Olympics, right? So it's like, I kind of get it at that point because they don't train together, but like, yeah, man, I've been to like elite weightlifting gyms where like a 150 snatch is nothing to like celebrate. And there will be people going for these snatches that I'm like, dude, that's a big fucking deal. And like, no one's even watching. Not even the people that can't lift that. Like, they're not even watching.
That's one, dude. Oh, I'm about to get into a freaking rant here. That's one thing that I think is really pisses me off. I was in the other room, right? Doing laundry, and I had some Lasha on TV, right?
Had some Lasha on, as you do.
Doing some laundry, watching some Lasha. And it's the video, and Seb and whatnot is talking about Lasha does like the 210 snatch for 3 singles. And I think because of social media and stuff, we're so freaking desensitized to like actual heavyweights. Like you have people like critiquing a 200 kilo snatch, or people critiquing like 170 kilo snatch. Like, it's like, what do you mean? Like, how many people in the world can snatch like 170 kilos clean? Like,
I'm with you. Social media has ruined like the God, fuck, what's the word? It's like ruined the rarity of like heavy lifts because you could just go find them anywhere. But like I remember when I first got into weightlifting, waiting for the new Cal Strength video to drop and seeing fucking, Donnie, who's clean and jerk 210 plus, clean and jerk 200, and being like, yo, fuck, that's sick. And it's not even his best, but it was like one of the few times you got to see video of someone, and especially an American, clean and jerking 200 kilos. And now it's like you can just scroll through your phone.
Like I open my phone, I got my saved open. Like I got Ilya's 242 saved, like just lifts out the ass. Like I got Kendrick Ferris on here hitting some big weights. Like, dude, and people are so,
it's not novel anymore. Like it's everyone's so desensitized.
Yeah, people just take that stuff for granted. Like you said, like you have people snatching 150 kilos at the gym. Like, dude, 150 kilos is some real weight. Like I remember when I was younger and everybody's like, oh, like 120 kilo snatch, right? Because you get 2 beefs on the bar for the first time, which is a freaking huge deal. Like, don't let anybody tell you differently. Like 120 kilo snatch, like that's a heavy weight, man. Like good for you.
You are in an elite percentage of the American population if you can snatch 120 kilos.
Yeah, 100%. Then you got people just like, oh, but so-and-so can do this. Like, some no name on the internet. It's like, yeah, I'm sure they can. Like, it's crazy. Then you go into gyms and you have like, how many athletes, Russell? Do you have people? How many people in general do you have like walking your gym that can snatch like 150 beans? Like, very few.
Yeah, I think the only 2 people have walked in here that can snatch 150 kilos.
I've snatched 150 there.
Okay, 3.
Yeah.
3. You, Kane Wilkes, the Olympian, and Jake Baker, my old teammate
like,
from Delta.
There's not.
Yeah.
Like, that's 3 people out of the hundreds of people you've had go in and out of your gym.
Yeah.
Then it's like,
and we're lucky to have had those 3 come in. There are other weightlifting gyms in this area that have had 0.
Yeah. And I mean, you're in such a mecca of like Sacramento. Like, I mean, there used to be like Midtown, RIP.
RIP. Lots of good weightlifters there.
Yeah. I mean,
Cal Strength used to roll through there back in the day. You know what I mean?
You have like D'Angelo. You've had like
Donovan.
Yeah, you have Donovan.
David Garcia.
Yep, you have David Garcia. And like that stuff was like freaking crazy. I remember going to those PWA meets when I was younger and you seeing those dudes. It's like, then now you, like I said, you got people snatch 150 kilos, not weighing 200 kilos, like not being a super. And it's like, oh man, people don't even bat an eye, you know? I just think that's like regular.
Yeah,
it's like,
I agree.
What do you mean?
Like, and you know what's funny is I was talking to my coach about like social media stuff because he ran Delta's Instagram and he was basically like, yeah, man, like the worst videos we got like statistically were the ones of our members hitting big lifts. It was always like the memes got a lot of views and like we used to do this thing Throwback Thursday where we throw like a popular lift. But like he was like, no one on the internet wants to see your members' PR. Like you post that for your members and for your team. You don't post that for because they're again, they can just go to a fucking weightlifting house and watch world record after world record after world record after world record. They don't care that you're so-and-so who's been working their ass off for 3 years, finally snatched 100 kilos.
And the one thing that I think also is like super funny is people, all right, Lasha, right, is going to go down as like the best weightlifter. He's damn near hit the 500 Sinclair. Like,
yeah, he's gonna go down as a goat. It's hard to determine like the real goat, but he's gonna be in the convo with Ilya and Pyros and you know
I think higher than them. Yeah, like he's up there with Naim, right?
Yeah,
and I think that he snatched 225 kilos, like which is just stupid.
More than any human being ever.
Then we have people like Kane, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have people like Kane. You got people like Kaiser. You got some big South American dudes. You got Andrew Williams, right? And people don't bat a freaking eye to those dudes.
Yeah, I know. It sucks.
You got Medina, right? 180 kilos off the block snatch. Like, yeah, it's off the blocks. Who cares? Like, that's 180 kilos.
Go pick up 180 kilos.
And you got people just like they're like
jaded on it.
They're like, oh, Lalian, he only did 210, 211 snatch, right? Oh, Zakharevich only hit this weight. It's like, what are you even talking about, dude?
Yeah.
And then people have like, I noticed that even on like some of the live streams. So like, so-and-so, they're only, they're a lower clean jerker. They're only clean jerking 230. Hold up, man. Only 230. And it's like, what would really be possible if we saw like actual like level playing field here? Who knows?
You mean which way? Are Americans getting on or
everybody's off?
I'll tell you what, Lasha ain't snatching 225. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, he's probably doing like 200. He's probably doing Kaiser weights.
I was gonna say, like maybe on a really good day.
Yeah, you saw Kaiser chuck the 198 over his head, and people don't even care.
No,
people
don't.
People don't care. Like
people just don't understand.
That to me is like damn near as good as somebody snatching like 225. Like
a clean American going for 200.
Yeah.
David brought something up on the chat board that I want to bring up real quick before we finish up. How do you feel about smelling salts?
I like them.
I fucking hate them.
You hate them?
I think if you need smelling salts to get hyped, like something ain't right.
I don't know, man. Tell you one thing though. I would do smelling salts really hard at Midtown. Like we'd be in there training just like all day long. And you come in the next day and you just train all day long again. Even though you took like 10 cracks at a PR the day before, you're going to try it again.
I remember those days, babe. Dude, oh God.
Yeah.
train stupid, as a famous American weightlifter once said.
Yeah. And you'd be hitting the nose or the smelling salts. I remember you at dinner with the family afterwards. I don't know if the smelling salts will get like stuck in my nose hair, but it would be like, it would hit you again when you're eating your dinner with your parents. Like you like breathing through your nose and like, just like that second wave, like when you're in the shower and you got icy hot on your back and the water hits it.
And it reactivates it. Yeah.
And you're like, oh man, it would just like hit your dome again. Like when you're eating dinner
So I've tried them once and I hated it and I've never used them again, but that sounds terrible, bro.
Dude, it's
like you're trying to chill out, have dinner, and all of a sudden you're just like, woo!
David says they like clear the head up rather than like hype you up. Like I don't know. I like them. Like you're already you're buzzing on the caffeine. Like
Maybe I should try him again. Maybe I should try him again. I tried the last time I tried him, honestly, was like 10 plus years ago. So
I don't think you need him to be as strong as like I know like Juji Mufu's got the like the world's strongest smelling salts. Like you don't need to have a bag over a bag over a bag over them.
Just
like
fucking.
There's like some ones called like Rhino.
They bad for you. They gotta be bad for you.
But they definitely take brain cells, but you don't need those.
Yeah, like they gotta do something negative. I don't know if there's any studies on it, but like something that fucks you up that bad. Like I'll smell them, you know, you get whiffs of them at competitions and stuff. And I'm just like, like what the fuck?
Like I'm like thinking about it right now. I'm like getting the
I can
smell. I can like smell it.
I know what they smell like again from being at competitions and stuff. Like I've been around them a lot, and someone will be doing them over there, and you could like get the whiffs coming out, and you're just like, yeesh.
We're at Midtown training, and someone opened like they just put water in it, activated it, and they like crack it open, and there's like the big, huge fans in there going, so it was like wafting around the gym, and I was like sitting down from when he like cracked it open, and it was like just like Tom and Jerry when like Jerry would have like the cheese, and you can see like the smell of the cheese like going across the screen. It was like that, but with smelling salts, and it hit me, and just like, whoa, just like ready to go.
I'm not a fan. I don't know. I just,
I think
it's too much adrenaline at one time, maybe.
Ilya does, is it like eucalyptus?
Eucalyptus. I know eucalyptus. When you see people taking the stuff in the bottle and they're shoving it into their nose, that's not smelling salts.
It's eucalyptus.
You cannot do that with smelling salts.
Yeah, you would.
Eucalyptus.
Yeah, you would probably
your
die
brain
right
would explode.
there.
Yeah.
Your brain would explode. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
eucalyptus, I know, is really popular in like the European countries.
Yeah,
that like opens up your nasal passages.
It does, yeah. Just like really like kind of clears everything.
Yeah, it allows you to get more air, basically.
Yeah, which I mean, I think is also just that's also great. I think.
Yeah, I know Donnie used to talk about rubbing eucalyptus on his like upper lip when he was training to help clear his breathing.
I think you gotta try them smelling salts again. I think.
I might get some nose torque. Is that what it's called? There's one called nose torque.
Like nose torque. You don't got to use it all the time. I don't think you need to use it all the time.
In like a year, I'm going to be coming back here like, bro, I'm fucking on that shit, dude. Like I can't not have my smelling salts.
I think there's a time and place like heavy lifts and stuff. It's really just like a shot of adrenaline. Like basically an inhalant that's like an inhalable EpiPen.
Yeah, Jesus. I think the reason like I think I'm kind of against it is obviously I don't think people should rely on that stuff. But then also too from being at meets, like I don't mean this to sound like a dick, but like, you know, dudes like 6 months in the sport getting their smelling salts ready to snatch 90. Like just go snatch your 90, put in your lumps, you know what I mean? Like you don't need to be getting fucking yacked out of your mind to snatch a weight that in 2 years is going to be part of your warm-up. You know what I mean? Like you trying to eke out the top level of performance, go for it. But while you're kind of in that build mode, like I would say lay off all of it's like why you don't have young lifters use like belts and wraps, right? You want them to add that stuff in when they need it, build a good foundation. I think with supplements, stimulants, all that stuff, like same idea. While you're newer in the sport, trying to get to a certain level, like delay that shit as long as possible.
Yeah,
because otherwise you're just reliant on everything to just put in a single training day.
Especially we can end the show on this. I think one thing that people really need to chill the hell out on is wrist wraps. Like I remember lifting with wrist wraps for so long, and I could hardly snatch 90 without them.
Because your wrists,
my wrists were so freaking weak. Like
I'm a big fan of wraps when you need them only. Not
like if your wrist is bugging or whatever. Wear them. If you need to compete and you got something going on, or you just feel more stable with them overhead, wear them when you compete or wear them for your top sets. But you don't need to wear them all the time. Like I'm dead serious. It'll make you'll become more dependent on them, and your wrist will not be nearly as strong as it could be without them.
It's like I dislocated a little bone in my wrist over COVID, partially dislocated. It wasn't a huge deal, but like I couldn't lift for a while, and it still like acts up every once in a while. And I've thought about putting a wrist strap on that wrist always. And I'm like, no, like only when it acts up. Like I need to get that stimulus and try to get it stronger on its own. I can't baby it. You know what I mean?
I was talking with Matthew Jones before we hopped in this podcast. We need to get him on the podcast.
We need to get, dude. Also, our guest game is going to level up with the YouTube.
Yeah. Like, especially because you can like see people. It's like super cool. So I was talking with Matthew Jones, and he was sending me some of his lifts that he did the training on. Great lifts, Matthew. I won't share them because I don't think he posted them.
Right now?
Yeah. I think he's coaching some people. I don't believe he's going to compete. But he did some good lifts, and he did like a snatch plus overhead squat, and he was saying, oh, it really conditions my wrist. You know, the snatch, you got more time under tension to do the overhead squat, and he said, oh, it strengthens my wrist a whole bunch. So that was the thing that he really had to strengthen coming back. And he said, like, we're saying nothing else strengthens your wrist. Like that position, you can't mimic that position.
Under load.
You do your wrist curls, you do all this and that, and your forearm's going to look beefy, but like it's not going to do anything really for your wrist too much.
No, but, you gotta get in the snatch with heavy weight overhead.
Yeah, and exactly. Like, if you always have the wrist wraps on, it's just gonna
take them
off for a bit. Take them off for a bit. Yeah.
Oh baby. All right. Well, good show, man. We just taught everyone how to be a fucking phenomenal weightlifter.
Yep.
I'm still trying to figure out how to get this stuff uploaded on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. It's like an enormously huge pain in the ass. But I will get it up this week. All of our previous episodes and everything, and I'm gonna try to get them up on YouTube too. We won't have video with them, obviously, but because we just did them audio. But yeah, man, any thing you want to leave the people before we get off?
No, I don't have anything.
Go train hard, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I'm excited to go train later today.
I think I'm going to talk to Rylan a little bit after the show, but I think we're going to have a guest on for the next one. I got a couple ideas. Okay, wait. David asked, should I do this 205 for a set of 5 back squats? His 5 RM is 200. Yes, David. You should definitely PR your 5 rep max by 5 kilos.
Yeah.
I would say that's a good idea. Would you agree, Rylan?
I would agree.
Sick. All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening. We will be back next Sunday, same time, same place. Until then, train hard, be consistent, recover, and track your Mackies.
Yeah, do that.